I got in between the two boars. Samson put his tusk into my leg and ripped up. He had opened me up really big. Gave me a gash that was a foot long all the way up my thigh. Stupid mistake that I made. You guys have seen a lot of this and this. I've been in here quite a bit and I've been over here a lot, but you haven't seen much of this. Hey, I'm Zach, and today we are going to be moving our pigs to the back 10 acres that you guys don't see very often and doesn't get very much love and attention. The pastures back here really don't look that good. There's a ton of weeds. They're not very high quality. There's a lot of brambles growing in. The quality of forage is just not there, and pasturing our cows back here was not the greatest experience. We have decided, instead of leaving our pigs in our big barn that we usually leave them in all winter long, we are gonna put them out on the pasture, on the back 10 acres, have them till this thing up like crazy, so that way we can come back behind them and plant some seed, and then next spring we have some really good growth, so that way we can actually graze our cattle on this and use this to its fullest potential, because right now it's not being used at all. We are going to be going all the way to the end of the 10 acres by the end of this winter. That is the goal, at least. Hopefully we make it there. I'm sure we will have time. Let's get to it. Let's start setting up these pig pastures, so that way tomorrow when Ashlyn's off work, she can help me bring the pigs over. These things I'm pounding in are just rebar posts. It's got this little triangle thing on the bottom. I think it's supposed to stabilize it because you're supposed to put it in the ground this much. And then we have these insulators. They unthread. They can slide up and down depending on what height you want. Super nice. If we need to like take a tractor in there and we don't have a gate, we can just lower these all the way down to the ground and drive over it. Super nice to have. And then as the pigs get older, we'll raise these up more and more, so that way it's at the height of their nose. Hey, did you know that pigs are the 5th smartest animal in the world? When we bought pigs, I had the assumption that they were kind of stupid, they were dirty, and they were just pigs, right? But as we've had pigs, we've learned that they're actually really intelligent. The article I read actually said that pigs are more trainable than your dogs are, which is a great way to put it into perspective of how intelligent pigs truly are. I love pigs. We wouldn't go through all this effort if we didn't love our pigs and our pastures. Let's get down in the ground here, take a look at these pastures so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So here's just a little patch. You can see that, yeah, I've got like a dandelion growing right there, but all this other stuff is dried up goldenrod. I have a little bit of grass coming through in some places, because like this right here, this is what we want more of on the property, and we want a lot less of this stuff because our cows will not eat it. My biggest worry in these pastures is because we're on this hill, the land isn't very flat, and so I have to put posts a little bit tighter together to make up for any slope and increase and decrease in the elevation. The main thing I'm worried about is our younger pigs. With this fence, we need to put it pretty low to the ground for our younger piglets. It's a little bit more worrisome being out here because if anybody's gonna get out, it's probably gonna be the young piglets. Those are just risks we have to take in farming. If they do get out, it's not gonna be a big deal because mom and dad are gonna be on the other side of the fence from them. They're gonna be trying to stay around them as much as possible. We shouldn't have any issues, but if we do, it won't be a massive disaster. Well, we ran out of posts. Let's go get some more. The other day, we built some new A-frame structures for our pigs because they're gonna be out here all winter long. It's gonna be really cold. We wanna make sure that they're nice and warm and they don't have any issues. So we built some really nice A-frame structures that we can put some straw or bedding in. And to move those A-frame structures all the way back here, we're gonna have to use the tractor. So we're in the shop. Here's the A-frame structures we built the other day. If you wanna see the video on me building these, I have one. Click the link up here. These structures are big and they are heavy. I am not gonna be able to move them by hand. I might be able to shimmy them around once they're out there by hand, but definitely not going to be able to walk them all the way back to where we just were. To do that, I have made a little boom that goes out so I can drive that up into the A-frame, pick it up, and drive it out to the field. I don't know about you, but I just love the sound of a diesel. was interesting. Definitely bounces around a lot, but we got it down here. It's not broken. The little boom on the tractor didn't break, so we're all set. I think it's gonna be nice and cozy for them. Like I said, these can fit about 4 to 5 pigs in each one, which is awesome. And those are adult 350 to 450 pound pigs. Let's head back up to the shop and grab the other 2. Man, this is gonna be hog heaven for them. Beautiful views, awesome shelters. They got lots of grass to eat, lots of ground to till up. They're gonna be nice and comfortable. Now that we've got all the shelters in place, I've got them all lined up on the flat part of the ridge here. We need to take our poly wire and run that through all the posts so that way we can keep these pigs in, keep them safe, keep them where we want them. Well, let's start running some wire. That's as far as we're gonna take this fence. We're gonna put our dividers up in between, and then tomorrow we're gonna be moving some pigs. Next, we need to hook up our solar energizer. This is what electrifies our fence, and it runs completely off solar. Thankfully, we live in Kentucky where it is sunny for a lot of the winter, a lot of the fall, and a lot of the winter it is nice and sunny. We haven't ever had any issues of these dying on us. I always make sure to put them southern facing, so that way it's facing the sun most of the day, and they charge up pretty well. As you can see, sun's in my eyes. This should make a pretty good location to catch the southern facing sun for the better part of the day. At night, it'll just electrify using the battery that's inside. First, we got to take our grounding rod, hammer this into the ground, and then we slide our solar energizer on it. And that's what's also supporting this energizer from moving around too much. Just like jump starting your car, you have a positive and a negative. This is our ground, which gets connected down into that grounding rod. And our energizer gets hooked right to the wire. We're gonna angle this down a little bit because the sun nowadays is a little bit lower on the horizon. In the summertime, we would raise this up a lot more. It is tomorrow. It's a beautiful frosty day today. Ashlyn's here to help me move the pigs. Let's grab some feed and see if we can't lure them to the back. So this move to the back is gonna be really big. How do you think it's gonna go?
I hope really good.
We've done this quite a few times, and with some of the younger pigs it doesn't go very well, but
sometimes they get distracted by the grass.
Yeah, they get distracted on the way because there's all these goodies in the ground, but we got the corn. Hopefully it goes well. Marigold and Bacon aren't as experienced as these older pigs, but I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Marigold, Bacon.
Where are pigs? Where are pigs? Where are pigs? It's just getting them across the fence.
That's the hard part.
Come here. Come here. Here, Marigold. Right here. Well, you can see we got Marigold and Bacon over, but Mike's being a pain. He doesn't want to cross the fence, which I guess means that we got good pigs because they don't want to cross the fence that's not even there. Yeah, it becomes a pain in the butt when we do this. I think I need to start using like an actual wood gate, so that way it can just open up the gate and they don't think that that's electrified. Come here, pigs. Come on, pigs. Come on, pigs. Come on, pigs. Well, that was a complete disaster. It went just about as bad as we could have expected, but with some movie magic, they're in the pen. We did those pigs first because we knew they were gonna be the hardest. Mike is a brand new pig to us. He is not trained at all, very scared to cross over the line. And then Marigold and Bacon are young pigs. They don't have training as well. Young pigs are really hard to take where you want them to. We decided to do them first this morning, get our little workout in. Now we're gonna get the UTV, get the dog kennel, and we're gonna grab all the piglets, take them back there. That should be probably the easiest part of our day. All right, that's all 5 of them, the easiest part of our day. Number 1. Oh, number 2. Oh, that fat one. So much heavier than these ones. Well, we got the piglets in. This is Bacon. We all know what he's for. Seems to be pretty nice with the piglets. They'll find their place. I don't know if you can tell from the video, but this one right here is just massive. We had sold all the piglets from Penelope's litter, and she ended up getting all the milk that 4 piglets were getting, and I think she got pretty milk fat on it. We still have 3 more pigs that we need to go grab. These ones, we're walking them over. We're hoping that it's gonna be a lot easier. We may do them one at a time just to keep from anything getting too crazy. Go. You know, you're my favorite pig, you know that? Oh, I love this pig. He's easy. These pigs want to stop right here because there's so many acorns on the ground. That was a lot easier than the other ones. This whole forest from our house, from the barns to here, it's just got so many acorns. Even the smartest pig like Samson wants to stop and eat it. Well, it's a couple days later. We got all the pigs moved over. We got their water set up. Everybody is exactly where they need to be. As you can probably tell, the footage got cut short because that was a pretty stressful situation for us. That was definitely the biggest move we've made so far. Pigs that we have had for a long time, like Samson, Delilah, Penelope, Marigold and Bacon actually did pretty well. The pigs that are new, like Bezzy and Mike, which we should have known better, were just so extremely difficult to get to the back of the property. Mike was easier because we had Marigold and Bacon to help him along with them. Bezzy we tried doing just by herself because we thought it was going to be easier, and it was just such a pain. We would take 40 minutes to get her all the way from the barn she was in to this spot, and then she would run all the way back up, all the way up to the barn. We did that a couple times, and by the end of that, Ashlyn and I were so tired and so exhausted of moving these pigs down here. We finally got everybody where they needed to be. And to give a little backstory, we've got Delilah and Samson and Bezzy in one pen. We've got all the feeder piglets in the middle pen, and we've got Mike, Marigold, and Penelope on the far pen because that's who's breeding with each other. And we wanted feeders in between them so that way the boars weren't right up next to each other. We've put the boars next to each other just on the other side of the fence, no problems before. When sows are coming into heat, boars are a little bit more aggressive, so we decided to have that little buffer. But what had happened was we brought Bezzy in, and Samson got all excited. The boars always go and sniff and try to mount, and he had pushed Bezzy into the fence and then went after her, and Samson ended up going over the fence to where the feeder pigs are at. He ended up getting next to the fence with Mike, and this is where major mistakes were made on my part. Just so stupid of me to do that. And you know, this channel, I don't just show all the glamorous stuff. I'm not a big fan of channels that show that because there are mistakes that are made and you know, stupid decisions that are made that, you know, can hurt us, can break things, all sorts of things, can hurt animals sometimes too. And I'm not somebody that wants to cut things like that out. I like to show everything as much as possible. What had happened was Samson was up along the fence. You know, there's a middle fence between them. Mike was on this side, Samson was on this side. They were doing their little stomp in the ground thing, foaming at the mouth, and I was so tired at that point and so exhausted. I was just trying to get things sped up, and so I had gone over there to try and push Samson off the fence to get him away, and it was the dumbest thing I could have done because, you know, any other time I would have never gotten in between 2 boars fighting. There's just no way that I would have ever done that with a clear, you know, stress-free mind. You know, when things get hectic and you're tired and frustrated, you just really, sometimes you just stop thinking, and that's exactly what I did. So I got in between the 2 boars. Samson thought that I was Mike, and if you know anything about boars, they have these 2 tusks that come off. That's what they use to fight the other boars and rip them up, and Samson, you know, no fault of his own, he had no idea, but Samson ripped me up and with his tusk, put his tusk into my leg and ripped up really far. You know, I'm always wearing these overalls when it's cold out, and these are, I think it's like burn overalls. This should be like I should have like an ad for this overall company because these things saved me from an ER visit for sure. But these are insulated overalls on the inside. They're super thick. This is what I wear in the wintertime because they're nice and warm. They keep my hands warm, keep my body warm, and they're so comfortable. So Samson had ripped me up. You know, I was between the fence and he his head was right here, and he decided to rip up and ripped right into my leg. And just beware, I am gonna put a photo up here. You know, the thumbnail has a blurred photo because I want to warn people, but I am gonna put a photo up here of what my leg looked like. And Ashlyn had started walking up to the house because, you know, she needed to go take some time to, you know, calm down a little bit and not be so frustrated, because it is frustrating when animals aren't doing what you'd like them to do. And, you know, and it happens. They have no idea that, you know, this is exactly what you want them to do. All they know is food, and you know, they have a mind of their own. So she had walked away, and I had got cut up, and I felt down to my side, and I thought for sure that he had opened me up really big, because it did not feel very good. And just I've seen what happens between boars and how big of gashes you can get from a boar's tusk like that. And I have a real high pain tolerance. I'm usually somebody that just kind of laughs it off, but you know, I ended up, you know, I was like, Ashlyn, calling for her, because I thought for sure she was gonna have to get in the car and take me to the ER to get stitched up. And potentially more, because he got me on the back of my thigh here, and you have so many tendons and muscles and everything on that backside. I know for a fact that if I was not wearing these overalls, I was wearing shorts or just some regular pants, I know we definitely would have had an ER visit that day. Yeah, that was a really tough day. I'm extremely sore. I'm walking just fine, no problems, but I am really sore. He gave me a gash that was like about a foot long all the way up my thigh, and you know, didn't need any stitches, thankfully, but it is all because of these overalls. I should probably send this video to the company that makes these overalls, because man, it gives me chills just thinking about it, because I've had major cuts, major injuries before that, you know, that put me in the ER for some major stitches, but I'm so thankful I didn't end up there. Very well could have, had I not been, you know, wearing these overalls. But, you know, that's a great example to everybody out there who, you know, if you have a farm and you have these stressful situations, because they're gonna happen. You know, you're gonna have animals that break out and do things that you don't want them to do, and you may not be thinking straight when you're doing that, and it could put you at harm like it did for me. Or it could have been Ashlyn, you know? I mean, Ashlyn could have been over there trying to do something, and it tore her up, and she wasn't wearing overalls, so it would have been really bad. But, you know, it's a great example of what not to do when things are frustrated. If I could do it again, I would have left Samson in that pen, because I knew he wasn't going to cross the fence. I would have stepped away for a bit, grabbed some water, maybe grabbed a bite to eat, because we were about 3 hours past noon by the time we were finished, and we were very hungry and frustrated. I would have, you know, sat down for a bit, calmed down, would have waited till Samson and Mike finished duking it out. I would have lured Samson over, because Samson's a great boar. Our boars are so nice. Honestly, our boars are a little bit nicer than a couple of our sows are. So, but when they start battling it out like that, it's, you know, it's like to the death basically. They're gonna rip each other up until one of them says, you know, I've had enough. Samson thought that was me. Stupid mistake that I made. I guess it's a learning lesson of what not to do when you're frustrated, because I never would have done that. You know, I've had them duke out before, him get in a position where I don't want him to be, but I never get involved, because, you know, I know that I could get torn up, I could get attacked like I did. And it happens so fast when those things are going on. Everything's moving quickly, you want something done very quickly, and you stop being so cautious. You stop thinking about, is this gonna hurt me, and more about, let's just get it done, which is not the place to be in, because I mean, these are 450-pound animals, you know, and you got a cow that's 1,200 pounds. Some bad things can happen if you're not cautious and you're not taking your time and stepping away when you need to step away. Let's go check on these pigs. We'll have some positivity for the end of this video. We got them where we want them to be, on our back, you know, 10 acres here by the creek. It's super beautiful. It was beautiful to come out and feed them this morning. They're loving it out here. They're already tearing it up, which is awesome. So let's go see them. Here's the first group. We got Samson, we've got Delilah, and we got Bezzy over here. Great pigs. They're just thinking that I'm gonna feed them, which they've already been fed. And then they'll be fed again later in the day. We are starting to feed twice a day now. Samson's a good boar. He would never be mean. When he's duking it out with a boar, it happens. They've already done such a great job of tilling this grass up and exposing the ground. We're gonna come behind them and spread some pasture seed once we move them to the next paddock. But over here we've got all of our piglets and bacon. Bacon's much bigger than these piglets are. They're doing good. We haven't had any breakouts for piglets yet, so that's good. That was what I was more worried about, was the piglets getting out, because we have to put the fence way lower because the piglets are smaller, but they seem to stay in pretty good. They don't like touching the fence. As you can see, we actually did 2 wires just where the feeder pigs are because they're so small. We want to train them to a higher wire so that way we can just get rid of the bottom one eventually. And then we got Mike here. Mike, Penelope, Marigold is the cream colored one. These pigs haven't been in there together very long, you know, just a couple days now. Marigold and Mike have been together for a while, but Penelope hasn't. So, you know, Penelope kind of gets picked on a little bit. If you have chickens or any other kind of animal, you know that there's a pecking order for sure, and they figure it out. Funny enough, Marigold, the small one's actually dominating Penelope right now, but that may change eventually once Penelope finds her voice. Yeah, it sure is beautiful out here. Pigs are doing great. We're all okay. I got a nice cut, nice big bruise as well on the back side of my thigh. Other than that, we're doing good. I'm just happy that I didn't have to go to the emergency room because, man, I sure thought that I was gonna have to. I ripped those overalls off as quick as I possibly could after he attacked me. Oh man, the amount of adrenaline you get when you're not sure you're not sure if your legs opened up or not is not a good feeling. Ashlyn and I are happy and healthy. We've learned a great lesson. Sometimes you need to step away, calm down. Don't do anything stupid when you're frustrated and angry and you just want something to get done. Not necessarily the video I wanted to make. By the time all that had happened, we were not ready to pick up the camera. I hope that my stupid mistakes can help somebody else down the road to not make them as well. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.